Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Mavidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam everyone. I had not posted any new material because there were a couple of slides from last week which were not covered. We'll cover them and then we can just revise whatever we have discussed so far in the past 4 classes. That's the hope. So I'm just going to I think this is where we were in Chatvari Vakpadani. I think I had covered it previously, but I think we'll go over that again once more. So this is from a Rigveda Suktam. As you can see, it's the first mandala of Rigveda. This from the 164th Suktam in that first mandala. This is the 45th mantra or Rig, as you would say. So we'll just read it. Chatvari Vak Parimita Cha Itva Ri Va Parimita Chatvari Vak Parimita Padani Tani Vidur Brahmana Vidu Ir Brahmana Vidur Brahmana Ye Mani Shi Na Ye Mani Shi Na Guha Trini Nihita Ne Inga Ya Inti Nengayanti Tu Ri Yam Vacho Manushya Bada Inti Guhatrini Nihita Nengayanti Turiyam Vacho Manushya Vadanti. You can read this also, I think. R Ig Vedah Rig Vedah Su Ukta Suktam Rigveda Suktam. So we will look at the meanings of the words. The first one is Chatvari. Chatvari means 4. The next word actually has 2 words compound. Vak is the first one. Parimita is the second one. Vak means speech. That's the best we can translate in English. You can say speech. Any sound which is produced from yourself is vak. It's much more than that, the speech, but we'll leave it at vak for now. Speech. Parimita means to contain, actually measured. So it's mita means to little. Parimita means when you make something little means you are basically brought it under a small measure. Okay, so you can say parimita is also measuring what the quantity, you can put it that way also. So in this case, measured is, I think that's the best for the context. I will use that. Padani. Padam means word. Padam is word. Padani is plural. Okay, words. Tani means those. Tat is one. That. Tani is those. Plural of that. Plural of that. Plural of tat is Tani. Vidur Brahmana. There are actually 2 words here. Viduhu is one word. Viduhu. That's a visarga. It has become ir here. So viduhu. Brahmana. Okay. Vidur Brahmana. So if you say viduhu means one who knows is viduhu. Okay, the knower. Brahmana means by that, actually. By the Brahmana who know. Vidur Brahmana is, you can say wise Brahmanas also. But I've just given the word knowers of Brahman. So actually we should say by the knowers of Brahman is the right way to. I will just correct it here, sorry. By the Brahmana means by Brahmana means by those Brahmanas. Okay, by the knowers of Brahman. Ye means whoever. It's not a question. Means if somebody is doing something, if you want to refer to that, who was coming here, to that kind of reference, whoever. Okay, whoever or who. Manishinaha. Manishinaha means that also wise ones is the real meaning. Man means thought. Ishinaha means one whose mind is very accurate. They can understand, analyze anything. So Manishinaha, the wise ones. Guha. Guha means cave. Anything which is inside, covered, where no one can see, that is called guha. So in this case, it's hidden is the word. Okay. So in the cave, you can say. Okay. Trini, 3. Nishita means they are placed there. Or they are present there. You can say deposited is the word I've given here. Okay. Nengayanti, na ingayanti is basically, ingayanti means to move, na ingayanti means they do not move. Okay. Turiyam. Turiyam is 4. Vachaha is speech. Manushya is men. Actually, men is, I've used the word men, human beings, you can put actually. Maybe that's, okay, so, okay, human beings, vadanti, speak. So what this basically says is, vak, speech, are measured or they are categorized, is a better word. Speech is categorized into 4 types of words. So that's why, even the word words is also not necessarily a good word. Pada is, because that's the easy, closest we can get. So there are 4 kinds of speech. Okay, just to put it in plain English. That's why we have put the translation says, I just took this translation from some one of the well-known translations. 4 other grades of speech. So in the Paramita, they're calling it grades, categorization. Okay. Tani, these 4. Viduhur Brahmana. Okay. Ye Manishina. So the knowers of Brahman, who are very wise, whoever is wise, whoever can see clearly, these are known by the Viduhu, they are known by the people who are wise ones and who can see things clearly. Okay, who Guha Trini. 3 of them are hidden, out of sight. They are in a cave. Okay. Nihida, they are all placed inside the cave. Nenge and they do not move. That means you don't even see movement there. Okay. Turiyam, the 4th one, Vachaka, speech, human beings speak. So the 4th one of this 4 kinds is the one which people speak. Isn't that what we hear people speak? So that is the meaning. So as you can see, this is described in the Rig Veda. Okay, in terms of speech. Okay, so this has been explained by others who have come later. Various rishis have explained and commented on this. Okay, I have so then I had talked about this one also last week. Okay, another description of speech. So in this case, words which are spoken by the people, by any human beings, is only the 4th kind of one of the 4. Among the 4 kinds of speech, 3 are hidden. This is a Rig Veda explanation. So this is taken from Srimad Bhagavatam. I think I had gone through it last week, but I will just go over again, read and go over the meaning. Oh, I think I forgot. Oh, okay, sorry. Arthashrayatvam. 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 Shabdasya drashtur lingattvameva. Drashtur, this ir is actually drashtuhu, this drashtur lingattvameva. Cha arthashrayatvam shabdasya drashturlingattvameva cha. Tanmatratvam cha nabhaso lakshanam kavayo viduhu. Tanmatratvam cha nabhaso lakshanam kavayo viduhu. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. I think I had mentioned. So this was being spoken by Kapila Rishi, who is the one who has expounded Sankhya philosophy. He is an avatar of Vishnu, described in Srimad Bhagavatam, I think in the third canto. We'll look at the meaning. Artha means meaning. Ashrayatvam, dependence. Ashraya means if anyone takes refuge, go and stay somewhere, takes protection or takes support, that's called ashraya. Okay, so artha ashrayatvam, the meaning is dependent. Okay, it becomes supported by shabdasya. Okay, of the sound. Shabda means sound, shabdasya means of the sound. Drashtuhu means of the seer. Drashta means the person who sees. Drashtuhu means it belongs to the person who sees. Because you should understand, mantras are called the mantras are received by rishis who are called mantra drashta. Means they are able to visualize or perceive or see the mantra. Okay. So here the shabda also can mean mantra. Veda mantras are here, it refers actually to Veda mantras. Okay. Lingatvam, I've used the word symbolism. Lingatvam. See, lingam, we all use worship linga. Linga means something which points you to something. That is called linga. It's a mark. It's a sign. When you're going somewhere, a sign will say you go this way. Or arrow or something like that, or it will say another 30 kilometers you go, you will see this. You go towards London or something like that, or Niagara Falls. So that is actually a mark, something which points you in the direction. So that is the meaning of linga. Okay, so the sound actually points you to the meaning. The sound points you to a meaning. Symbolism, eva, indeed, cha, yes, and tanmatratva. Tanmatratvam is made of two words. One is tat, the other one is matratvam. Okay, give me a minute. Sorry, tanmatratvam means measure of something. Okay, that means tat is that. Matratvam means a measure. I also want to point out that our senses are called tanmatras. So our eyes, nose, ears, touch, all these, the five senses are called tanmatras. What it means is, when everything in this world is measured by these senses. So for example, touch will measure something and say, oh, it is hard, it's soft. Ear will say, oh, this is too loud, this is pleasant. It measures whatever it hears. Our eyes will look at something and say, oh, this is blue, it's bright, it is not so bright. So it measures various things in this world. Okay. So smell, same thing. Nose also will measure. This is a good smell, this is a bad smell. So the senses which we have are called tanmatras. Okay. So what they do is they measure that. So you can see God reflects through the world, and what comes through is measured and understood, perceived. So whenever you want to understand something, you have to measure it. Or is this that's what we are doing with our intellect or buddhi. We measure everything, and to measure, the instrument which we use is, give me a minute. Okay, sorry about it. So our senses are always measuring. Okay. um, we are measuring the divinity which comes through anything. So when we take anything in, we are analyzing and taking it in. So the senses can be used for that purpose. So what it also means, we should be able to measure the divinity in the world. We should be able to perceive the divinity in the world. That is why it's called tat matratva. Okay, the senses are to be used like that. So if you look at earlier, Mandukya Upanishad talks about how we have to, I think not today, Chandogya Upanishad, I think it was 2 weeks earlier, it basically says how the eyes should be used, how the speech should be used. So divinity has to be taken in by the senses. So that is also mentioned by the Tanmatra. It's not only in the early sense, Tanmatra means measuring whatever comes. But Tat means the senses should be anything through which we can perceive the divinity, is also given the word Tanmatra. So I thought I would just point that out. Cha means and, Nabhasaha, ether, space. And that is the best in terms of you can do. Space means we think sky is space. Actually, space is within our body also is space. If there's no space, our body cannot remain anywhere. So the space is the one which contains even our body. Okay, wherever we are also, that's space. In the earth also we have space. The earth is also inside the space. It's occupying a space. Okay, though we cannot see that space which is occupied by the earth. Same thing with us also. So all that is considered nabhasaha. Lakshanam is quality. I think all of you are familiar with word lakshanam, so I will not go in. Kavayaha, kavi means poet. The plural is kavayaha. Okay. In this case, the learned ones and the poet. Viduhu, they know. So as you can see, even the Rig Veda, the word Viduhu was used. Viduhu, Vidur Brahmana. In Bhagavatam also, the same word is used. Viduhu. Okay. So what it basically means is, Artha is dependent on the sound and the symbolism. Okay. And Tanmatram, it also is the measure of that, measure of divinity, and is of the quality of space or ether. Okay. So for example, I think we had the question, how, from where does our speech arise? It arises from the meaning which is perceived in our thought first. For example, if you take a fruit, apple, the thought comes first. And then that is expressed through words, so that will point back to the object, padartha. So in Sanskrit, any object in this word is called padartha. Padartham in Tamil, everyone will say. Padartha means pada means word, artha means meaning. Pada artha. So what it basically means, every object you see is the meaning of a word which you have. Padartha. So the object is the meaning of the word you say. So for example, if I remember an apple, which is an object, and that thought will give rise to a speech, a word which I speak. So the speech, where did it originate? From the meaning which I perceived. How did I perceive? That is drashtu. A person who has seen it will be able to express it through a word, and through that they will be able to point the person back to that source. So this is what great rishis did. They saw the Lord, they perceived the Lord, and they perceived it as a mantra. And that mantra is the meaning of that word which they were uttering. So for example, if you say Shiva, they saw something and they expressed that through the word Shiva. But what was the origin? Shiva was the origin. Auspiciousness was the origin which they perceived, which they saw. So that's why they are called mantra drashta. So they saw that object, the meaning of the mantra, and they express the mantra. Okay. And that is the measure. That is measuring God himself. Because God is not measurable. He is beyond any measurement. But we tend to measure God. We'll say Shiva, Krishna. So it's like if we go to the ocean, we take a cup of, in our hands, we take water, we are measuring based on what we have, the same ocean water. But ocean water is much beyond. Why? Because so that we can experience what the ocean water is. So that is tanmatra. So our senses are actually measuring in little quantities that divinity which is present. Actually, that is the divinity is present only in ether. Okay. So this is the meaning of this word. So this is known to all the learned people. Okay. So that is what Srimad Bhagavatam says. Okay. Then I have a few words I thought I will just talk to. The first word is Nabhaha. See, Nabhasaha we saw in this previous word. We saw the word Nabhasaha. Okay, that is plural of Nabha. Yes, brother. Dasan, you have...
brother, I didn't understand that last one. Quality of space or either the space. Can you elaborate a little bit more, brother?
I'm going to elaborate, brother.
Okay, thank you.
These 4 words are just for that purpose only. Okay. So Nabha means space. Okay. Space. We know the word Nabhi, which is of navel, physically navel. Okay. That means that which has come from Nabha, it's navel, home, origin, cavity, all these are meanings of Nabhi. Okay. See, it is, if you look at the description of Brahma and Vishnu, it says Brahma is from navel, there's a lotus coming. From that lotus, on that lotus, Brahma sits and he does creation. This is a picture you may have seen. If you look at the 5 elements in this world, the subtlest of them all is ether or space. The grossest is earth, then comes water, which is little less gross, or it is more subtle. Then comes fire. Then comes air or wind, and then comes space. This is the way you can become from the most grossest, which has 5 qualities. Earth has 5 qualities. You can taste it, smell it, hear it, all that is possible. 5 qualities Earth has. The next one is water. It has 4 qualities because it does not have the quality of smell. Because water, pure water, will not have smell. When will it have smell? If there are particles in the water, it will have smell. If there's any dirt, then it will smell, or any particle. So water by itself, pure water, is not smellable. Okay, so it has only 4. It's minus smell. Then comes fire. That has only 3. Okay, you can see, you can feel, you can hear. Which is the 4th one, which the water has? Taste. Taste is only applicable to water. If anything which has no water content, you cannot taste it. So taste is the extra quality which water has compared to fire. Fire has 3 because fire can be seen also. Then comes wind or air. It has only 2. You can feel it in your skin or touch, and you can hear it. You can't see. Then comes space. You can't even touch it. You can only hear. When people say, oh, you need particles so that we can hear, yes. But the thing is, the particles actually stop the movement of the waves in the space. In the world, if sunlight is coming, there are waves bringing it. Anything which is outside, electromagnetic waves, they say. All magnetic forces, all that, they are waves. That where those waves travel is called space. It is not the way we understand as. So that is space, which is the subtlest. When we say sound, it includes waves, frequencies, this is covered. But the reality is, for us to hear, the waves have to be very gross. And when they enter and interact with particles in the world, that is the sound which we hear, because the frequency is reduced to a great extent. Okay. So what happens is, in the created world of all the 5 elements, space is the subtlest that we can humanly comprehend. Okay. So then there's a concept of, so what we, in this world, whatever space we see is called Bhuta Akasha. Bhuta Akasha. Okay. How things come into being is because there's something called Chitta Akasha. I don't know whether you all remember, this was covered in the Sandeha Nivarani. Okay, from Chidakasha, Chittakasha comes. From Chittakasha, Bhutakasha comes. So the first thing which got created in this world was space. The first creation, is only space. Then within that space, wind came, fire came, water came. This is the description of how the world was created. So the subtlest of the 5 elements was Akasha, which is called Bhuta Akasha. It originated from what is called Chitta Akasha, the space of mind, Chittam. So Chitta means the memory function of the mind. So that's a very subtle space. Okay, that is called Chittakasha. Okay, so the thoughts arise in Chittakasha, and what is in the Chittakasha gets transferred to Bhutakasha, and then speech comes out. And if you remember in Sandhya Nivarni again, there's a question, where are these 4 aspects of the mind sit? Is the question is asking, where is Chittam, where is Manas, where is Buddhi? And the answer Swami gives is, Chittam is present in your navel. In your navel area is where the Chitta is present. So all the thoughts are present in that region. Not physically, in that region Chittakasha is there. From there, it gets transferred to Bhutakasha, and that is how the signals to speech actually come from navel region. Is the principle which rishis have said. So from Nabhi is a very sensitive organ which is able to connect to the Chitta. So all thoughts, even many people say, I have a gut feeling. That means I feel it in my gut. That's common. And even in Ayurveda and all, they will say any emotions get stored either in the liver, spleen, in those organs also it gets stored. So that region, entire region, is closely connected with your feelings and thoughts and so on. So from Chittakasha, Bhutakasha, which is the gross element of space which we can perceive, from there the thought gets transferred. Once that the thought gets transferred to Chittakasha to Bhutakasha, from there, from Akasha, it starts moving up, I think, which I discussed. Nabhi, from there it comes to the lungs, start working the air, the lungs pump the air, then the air comes out through our throat, it forms some sound here in our throat region. Only then others can sort of even hear possibility of seeing. Then it gets the form of the letters and the sound get produced where the tongue is. Okay, and then out comes the speech which people can hear, which is the grossest form, which is the 4th type. Okay, so this is the belief that how sound comes out. As you can see, only what comes out of our mouth others can hear. Whatever happens before that, it is all guha. They are all present somewhere hidden. Okay, so this is the thought. Then we will go. Brother Dasan, you still have that question? You can ask.
Okay, yeah, it's better understanding, brother. So what is the connections between the impulses and Chitta-akasha?
Impulses and Chittakasha?
Yeah, that's a storage, or impulses mean whatever.
Yeah, it's a storage.
Say storage. Okay.
It's stored. Everything is stored there.
Okay, thank you, brother. Very good understanding.
Chitta means all your thoughts get stored in Chitta. The Western science may say it's all in your brain. Actual brain, they will say only chemicals are there. The thoughts are not stored as chemicals. What happens is they come out. The thought actually creates certain chemical secretion in the brain, not necessarily the other way around. Okay, but they say, because what happens is thoughts get transferred to the physical phase in the brain head, for analysis purposes and functioning of the brain, the functioning of the body. Because our thought actually, see, every cell also has memory, cell also has intelligence. For example, if we talk about some food item or smell, instantly without brain, before brain knows, your saliva will secrete, your stomach will secrete acid. So every cell actually has memory, intelligence, and so on. It can function independently without relying on the head. So thoughts or vasanas, which is much more seed form, is present in the Chittakasha as storage. You can say it's hard disk. I think computer professionals understand. Chitta is the hard disk where memory is stored. Then it becomes active, then you bring it to the random access memory. And then it gets processed and it will show up on the screen. Okay.
So which is the random access memory here?
Pardon?
Which is the RAM here? Which is the random access here?
Random access memory?
Yeah.
Mind.
Mind. Yeah, mind.
That's your work area. Chittam
Yes.
stores, then it comes to the mind processes it, then it distributes. So mind has 4 functions. Computer has hard disk, so it's like that. Chittam is your hard disk. RAM is the mind where you juggle everything. And
Mind
point
is the
go. Pardon, IO. Then IO is your sensory organs. Input output.
Okay. Yes.
Jnanendriyas, karmendriyas. So you can, I thought I will try computer analogy, so brother will be happy.
Yes. So all the jnanendriya, karmendriyas are the input and output.
Exactly.
Thing. And
input is jnanendriya, output is karmendriya.
And system is the hard disk, and mind is the process. Okay, it's a process and all the.
Then there are other
temporary storage.
Yeah. Okay, it's just analogy.
And the impulses is the permanent storage.
Yes.
Good.
The impulses which are in storage form is in the hard storage.
Yeah, hard storage.
But the impulses when transferred to random, then they will be there.
The process will taking place. Yeah. Thank you, Sai Ram. Very good understanding.
Brother Vimalesan, you have a question.
Sai Ram. No, just minor thing is Chittagasa and Chidahasa. Both are same? Or?
No, they are different, brother. Okay, maybe I will just give me a minute.
Sai Ram, brother, on the same point, I also have some sort of follow-up in the same line as Brother Vimalesan. In the process of how sound comes from these, what would be the function of Siddhakasa? I understand Chittahasa and Pudahasa, and you also mentioned the Siddhahasa. That comes even first, Siddhahasa, and then Siddhakasa, and Pudakasa. How in the sound formation, what would be the function of the Siddhahasa?
Okay, 1 second. So I will come to that. Can you see something?
Yes.
Yes, brother.
Yes.
Chit plus Akasha becomes sorry. Okay. Chit plus Akasha. Can you see that now?
Yeah.
So Chit plus Akasha is Chidakasha. Chit plus Akasha. Chit means Sat. Chit Ananda is that Chit. Okay. So this is your consciousness. Okay. Your consciousness, that is the Atman. That Atman, from that is born Chittakasha. This is also described in Sandhya Nivarni. Swami is saying there's a process called abhasa. Through the process of abhasa, which basically something looks as something else. For example, a mirage. Sunlight hits on some distant space, and then we see a water-like thing, which is a mirage. So from Chit, so that is our real consciousness. From it reflects on the surface of the mind, and there forms Chittakasha. That is Chitta plus Akasha is Chittakasha. So Chidakasha is in your real self. Okay, this is beyond mind. You can say in the Jnanamaya Kosha. Okay, that gets reflected in the Manomaya Kosha as Chittakasha. So that Chidakasha gets reflected as Chittakasha, and the Chittakasha, from there the Bhutakasha, this created world, is perceived. Okay, this is what Swami explains in Sandeha Nivarani. So the difference is, so you can ask, is it present? It is present, but it's created, Chittakasha is created from Chidakasha, which is consciousness. I hope, otherwise, it becomes too much of philosophy. We have to go back to our Sandeha Nivarani and discuss. So the thing is, consciousness is the fuel for our thinking. If the Atman is not present within us, thinking will not happen. But that Atmic energy gets reflected in the mind, and there forms a Chittakasha. That is how we come into being, and that is where everything is stored.
Right.
And that's like random access memory, as I said. So from that you take out, and then it comes into word, speech, everything.
Okay.
So then the process of sadhana is what is called reformatting the hard disk. You erase all the information from the hard disk, means it will become black. The process of sadhana is supposed to be that. Om is supposed to help us do that. By chanting Om, actually you will get rid of the impulses everywhere. You purify your thought, word and deed. That is the idea. Because Om is actually Chit. It originates. Om itself, that's why we started Ekaksharam Brahma. Om it Ekaksharam Brahma. That is divine. So Om is nothing but Chit. And through that, you can cleanse the Chittakasha. So I hope.
That's help. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When we sleep, that is the thing. Prajna is basically Chit, which you experience only in your deep sleep. In your dream state, it becomes Taijasa, or our thought also. When we awake, our thoughts are in that subtle area, part of our existence of body. So that is Taijasa. Then what comes out is Vishwam, what you see in the world, what others can hear, all that sound. Okay, so that is a different. That is why the word Akasha is used. So the thing which connects all three is Akasha. Chit and Chittam and Bhuta, the created world, all the Akasha is connected. And so the Om also is sound, which is in the Bhutakasha. When we speak it, that silent part of Om is supposed to be the Bhutakasha Om. But that Om actually starts from God, who is in the Chit. He comes into Chittam, and then it comes out as the sound Om when we speak. And it's much more holistic. So that is the Nabi, Hrid, Kanta, Rasana, as Saint Tyagaraja says. Nabi in the see, though just for physical understanding we are saying Nabhi, ultimately it is not in one place, it's a subtle space in our own body. But you have to give some place pointer, so Nabhi is given. There's some correlation to the physical parts and the space in which we exist. I hope.
Yeah, thank you.
Sahiram. So then these have been further explained in various what I call tantric texts. Tantric texts. There is a lot of Kashmir Shaivaism has a lot of material in Sanskrit on this, but I didn't want to bring. Yes.
There was a chat by Sai in regards to the previous slide. Can you please look into it, please? Thanks, Sarah. So Siddhakasa and Siddhakasa, they're saying the word was written differently because it's a two different words. Can you see
they are two different words. Chit plus Akasha is Chidakasha, because brother Vimalesan asked me about this word called Chidakasha. From Chidakasha, Chittakasha comes. They're two different words. Chit is consciousness. The space in our consciousness is called Chidakasha. Then we come into Chittam, okay, which is our mind. This is not mind. This is beyond mind. So there are three different words.
If you said, no, Chit plus Agasa, Chidagasa, Chitta plus Agasa, Chittagasa. Is right? Yeah, yes. That's right. So that's why it's different.
Okay. So there are two different words. Chitta. So if I, for anyone who wants to, I hope it's clear now. Chit plus Akasha is Chidakasha. Chitta plus Akasha is Chittakasha. Okay. Because brother Vimalesan asked about the word Chidakasha, so I did this. Because this it plus A becomes da. Because of Sandhi, this it becomes the third letter in the tha varga. So it becomes Chidakasha. In this case, Chitta Akasha, Chitta, ta plus A becomes ta. Okay, that's how Chittakasha comes. This is our consciousness, which is beyond mind. This is in the mental Manomaya Kosha, and everything else comes in the gross world, which is Bhutakasha comes in the gross world. Okay. Yes, Brother Dasan.
So Sairam, brother, based on this one, the Om, if we take the Atma, we can divide it into three, Chat, Chit, Anandam. The first one is pure consciousness. Next one is the knowledge. Third one is the bliss. So Om is talking about the middle one, the knowledge, the Chit. Am I right, brother?
Can you repeat, brother?
If we take Atma, we can divide it in that Atma's nature is Chat, Chit, Anand. That means pure consciousness, knowledge, bliss. Or we can say science, knowledge, and bliss. So Om is describing the knowledge, the middle one.
Om is present as Chit.
Yeah, the middle one, that Chat, Chit, Anand.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Sat is also Om, Chit is also Om, Anand. So I don't know, one of the Bhagavad Gita shlokas I looked at, Om Tat Sat. I don't know whether you will remember. That was one of the Gita shlokas which I covered.
This.
There are three ways by which that divinity is described. It is Om, Tat, and Sat, all refer to the same thing. So, Chit is Om, but it is not even seen. It is beyond anything. Then comes in your thought also, there's Om. And that Om comes out in our mouth as Om. The Om is actually here. From there it has come here. From there it has come as word. Okay. Is God Om alone? No, it is one word. But why Om is a perfect and complete sound is because Ah is the origin of the sound. The throat, Ah. U is your lip. So it covers all sounds which your mouth can produce is covered between O, A and U, which is O. That covers all possible sounds. Then is the one which is the nasal sound. When it rises up, when the sound rises up, then it becomes Okay, so there's a triangle from back to forward to the top. That triangle covers all possible permutation and combination of sounds. So it's a complete sound which encompasses all other sounds. That is why Om is considered the best representation of the human mouth. Okay, that completeness is covered by the word Om. That is the physics. That is only so much you can do with your mouth. So once you cover all possible sounds of Om, your production, voice production, it's all embedded within Om. Okay, that is why Om is given. So is the Om the only way? No, human way. That is the only humanly in our sound. That's the best we can do. Okay, start, end, and up. There's no other sound which you can produce within these three boundaries. Okay, that is why Om, physically, what we hear is the complete, perfect sound. But that is not Om. That is what we can express. For example, if I say apple, is it apple? No, it is not apple. The word denotes apple. That's why I said lingatva. Lingatva means it's only a mark. For example, if I look at the screen, there's Dasan, it's written. Is the word Dasan? No, it points to brother Dasa. So Om, which we sound, is actually pointing to the real person, Artham. What the meaning is pointing to that. And the meaning is dependent on this word so that we can communicate. That is the understanding.
Thank you.
Sri Lalita's, I took, it's already 9:08. I wanted to close it, but it's just once. I will quickly go through and then we will close if it's okay. If there's any questions, I will answer. We'll go on to a new topic. I'm hoping to do Ganapati Prarthana at the next session. See, I will just read it quickly. If you all don't mind, another 10 minutes, we'll close. Sri Lalita Sahasra Nama Stotram. Sri Lalita Sahasra Nama Stotram. Para Pratyak Chitti Rupa. This is Ik Cha E. So Ikchi. Pratyak Chitti Rupa Pashyanti Paradevata Madhyama Vaikari Rupa Bhakta Manasa Hamsika. Para Pratyak Chitti Rupa Pashyanti Paradevata Madhyama Vaikari Rupa Bhakta Bhakta Manasa Hamsika. Para means beyond. Supreme, which transcends everything, is para. Pratyak, inward. Chiti Rupa. So what we were speaking about, Chit is para. Pratyak, inward, what we can, within ourselves, if we go, see what is transcend beyond us is para. Then Pratyak, when we go inside, there is Chiti Rupa. In our Chit, she takes a form. This is all description of Mother, Sri Lalita Mahatripura Sundari, the Shakti. Because the Shivam is unmoving. But the same Shakti is para also. Shiva is Shakti, Shakti is Shiva. But it becomes that in that state it doesn't move. If you look at it, Nengayanti is something which we saw in Rig Veda, that which does not move. It does not even have movement. That means it's only in space as Chidakasha. From there, it becomes Chittakasha, which is Pratyak Chiti Rupa, which we can see is inside us. Okay. Pashyanti means then it is seen. One who sees. Pashyanti means only the divinity is able to see, not our eyes. The divine in us is the one who actually is seeing it also. Pashyanti, Paradevata, supremely shining one. She is from the Para, so she is Paradevata. Okay, she is able to see. Madhyama. So rishis went to that state. Brother was telling Mayakamura. Mayakam is actually deep sleep, sushupti. When we sleep, we are lost to the world. So when you are lost to the world completely, then only you can see. At that stage only you can see divinity. All mantras can be seen. That's why people are called mantra drashta. That is why the third eye opens. Though we draw, third eye means it is beyond that. Jnanamaya kosha is beyond the mind also. It's inward sight, which sees everything. Then comes Madhyama, in the middle intermediary. Okay. Then she is Vaikari Rupa. When she comes out as speech, that is also the mother. Shakti is present as para. Then it's present as the one who sees. Then it gets formed. Then it comes out. Even that is also. So these are the four parts of speech. Because Vak is nothing but mother. It is divinity. That's why Saraswati is called Vak Devi. Okay, Vani also means speech. So Vaikari Rupa, the form which enters through the ear. Vai means certainly, because Vaikari. Ka means also means opening, it also means space. Ka also means space. Ri means goes. Okay. So the sound which enters space, Bhutakasha, Vaikari, so it can be seen. Who is she? She is Bhakta Manasa Hamsika. She's like the celestial swan which is in the minds of the devotees. So the mother who is in that's the description of mother in Sri Lalita Sahasranama. So she is Para, she is Pashyanti, she is Madhyama, she is Vaikari. And she is the swan, Hamsa, which is in the mind of the devotees. That's why there's something called Hamsa Gayatri. Hamsa Gayatri means the Sa, Ha and Sa, Aham, Saha, Aham, Soham. That's called Hamsa Gayatri. Soham mantra is the Hamsa. So every time when we breathe, she enters us and she leaves us. She enters us and leaves us. This is the Soham meditation. So the same thing, she is the one who goes in and out of us as breath. inward and going out, that is the one which can help us speak. And she is the one who makes it speak also. So the breath, the prana which enters, prana which goes out, and how it will bring out the thought within us, or the meaning of the mother or divinity also is presented through sound. All this is encompassed by Om. These are all different descriptions of Om, which is nothing but God. People can call it Om, people can call it Shiva, people can call it Shakti, or it can Shiva Shakti. In the Advaita tradition, everything is one. So one becomes two, the two becomes, I think that is also covered in Sandhya Nivarani. Originally it was one. Then it became Purusha and Prakriti two. Then the qualities, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas comes in, it becomes three. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, and then each of them had pairs. And then from that, the Panchabhutas came, the 5 elements came. That is a description of how the world evolved. It evolved from that Om, undifferentiated one entity. From that, it became 2. From that, it became 3 because of the 3 qualities of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. From there, formed the 5 elements. I think that was covered. So, as you can see, Om is the creation. The one mantra is Om. It's composed of 3 parts. How it manifests the creation, who it activates, actually Laya. So things like that. There are various ways people have understood. The most important thing for us to know is Om. As soon as we sound, we are invoking the divinity within us. Everything we do with Om, so that is the best way we can invoke the divinity. And using the divinity, we can cleanse our body, cleanse our mind, cleanse our inner self. That is the practice of 3 times Om. I think one of the questions Auntie Manohari asked was, this is Swami has, in 1978, there's a discourse where Swami is talking about how this creation took place. The moving and non-moving contents of the creation. The moving is Shakti. The non-moving is Shiva, Shiva Shakti. One is potent, the other one is kinetic, which is active. These are, all of them are in both, there are 4 categories: Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikari. It was discussion, so I just picked up because Swami has used this. I just wanted to point out in the one discourse. Then I will go to the last one slide. So when we do any pranava, I think one of the questions Sister Auntie Manori asked was, why do we chant 3 times? So for the 3 bodies, Stula, Sukshma, Karana. Okay, so that's what Swami is saying. I will just read the English. Finally, you end the pranava recital with a recital of Shanti 3 times. That's why we chant 3 times Shanti also. We start with 3 Oms, then we do Shanti at the end 3 times. That completes the process of clarification and purification. The first call for Shanti, peace chant, is for the purity of the Adi Bhautika, which is the body, Bhuta Akasha, part of the self. Second call for the purity of the Adi Dhaivika, which is our mental, Sukshma Sharira. Okay. The third is for the purification of the Adhyatmik, which is spirit, which is the Karana. Okay. This pranava recital will tone you up, calm all agitations in the mind, and quicken the downpour of grace. This is complete reformatting of the body, mind, and thought, soul, so that the divinity can flow through us. So this is why every activity we start with 3 Oms. We energize, divinize our complete inner being beyond mind. We completely, second Om will divinize our mental, subtle body. The third one will physically also cleanse it. And only then the divinity can pour into us. And at the end also we calm ourselves with Shanti, so that we can go and take part in this world in every activity in a calm demeanor. This is roughly the reason why Om and Shanti are used. Yes, Brother Dasan.
You know that the three reasons you told us, the body, mind, the last one is spirit. That means the people have heard about this one, they're saying body, mind, and the Atma. Atma, I don't think so. Why they put in the bracket spirit?
See, in English, you can't translate, brother. Somebody has put, I have just copied it from Swami has only used the word Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adhyatmika. That is the original word. So you need to translate. So people use this. So I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
People
brother.
will call it soul, spirit, whatever. Okay.
Brother Sairam, the previous slide also we rushed fast on that. We didn't get some time to spend on it.
What, sister?
Understand the previous slide, Swami
one?
speak, yeah.
No, whatever we have discussed, Swami said that whatever we have discussed so far, sister.
Yes.
Swami said the moving and the non-moving contents of the creation are 4 different categories. Okay, Swami is good. We only looked at para, pashyanti, madhyama in terms of speech.
Yes.
Swami is telling everything in this world, the moving and non-moving, chara, achara. In this world, there are moving, they're non-moving. Everything has these 4.
Okay.
Okay, they have all at all levels. They are there, but we can't perceive. But it is there.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Now I
So
got
that is what Swami says. Okay.
Yes.
Even something is sitting there. Even if you take a stone which is just sitting and not moving, you will ask, does it have sound? Okay. You take the stone and throw it at against something, the sound will come from the stone. Where was the sound? You throw a stone, sound comes. Where was did the sound? Did the stone speak?
Moving part.
Because you moved it.
Yes.
But okay, there's inside there are atoms which are moving and non-moving.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
there is you bring it out. But if you brought it out, where was the sound before?
Small.
It was in the stone.
Yes.
Okay, you just brought it out.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so that is what Swami is saying. So even in the stone, there is divinity. And when you tap it, it will come out. So moving things also make sound. Moving things make sound, we can hear. But unmoving things also have sound. Okay. So that's the belief. Sai Ramanti.
I want to just clear my mind. The Turiya stage, is it a blissful state?
Yes, Auntie.
Can
That's
you
what you
repeat
experience every day for at least for a few minutes or seconds in your deep sleep. If we don't experience it, we won't be able to function, which people don't realize. If we don't experience Turiya state on a daily basis, we cannot function.
Yes.
That is prajna too. Am I right, brother?
Pardon?
That is prajna too.
That is prajna.
Okay, thank you.
That is prajna. Okay, that is the Turiya. So that is the only one which takes you to closer to the Turiya stage. Turiya is, once you reach that, the Turiyam is present in all stages also. But even our waking state, we suddenly become happy about something. Why? Because you have got a small fraction of Turiya experience. The thing is, you want something, so your mind is agitated. You go and look for it, you got it. As soon as you got it, for a fraction of a second, everything comes to a standstill. Your mind is at rest. And then from the Turiya state, one trickle of bliss comes through. And then you taste it and then you're happy. Then what happens? Again, the mind is agitated. So then that goes away. So whenever we are happy, actually we have tasted that Anandam. Or in Tamil, Brother Kumar is there. Sittinbam, that is Perinbam. From Perinbam means the bliss. Joy comes in small fractional quantity in our waking state. So once you know, then you go in looking for that full bliss, which is Turiya state. Om is supposed to help you get to that point. I think this is too much. We spent a lot of time on Om, but I thought I used the opportunity to study Sanskrit because I don't want to make this a philosophy discussion, but there are philosophical concepts in Sanskrit. So I thought, which Swami has explained, and Swami uses Sanskrit to bring to light this. So that was the main reason. Okay. Yes, Brother Kumar, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
very quick thing. This class every day, it's going to turn into 8 or it is going to be 9. I missed it honestly because I know Tasan called me and said I was having a shower. I have morning my ritual, and then I missed it. That's what. Is it going to be 8? Then I can plan myself accordingly.
Only today, brother.
Okay.
Hereafter it will be 9 o'clock again.
Okay.
Today I have something I have to rush now.
Oh, sorry, Sairam.
So
the last slide, I know you are talking about Sanskrit. I'm more interested in Sanskrit here. The last slide, if you go back to the last one, just one word. I just want to, the last one, the next one, the last
This one?
No, the last one from Sai's discourse. Yes, here you see in the middle, it says Adi
Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adi Atmika.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Adi Bhautika.
Yeah.
Bhautika means from Bhuta comes Bhautika.
Bhautika, beautiful.
Okay. So this is the gross world. Okay. Daivika means where it shines actually. The mind is the one which shines. All your knowledge happens in the mind. Adi Daivika means from that, which originating from that.
Okay, perfect.
Adi Atmika means originating from the Atman.
Atman. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so Prajna. So this is Prajna. This is Taijasa.
Yes.
This is Vishnu. Vishwam.
Vishwam.
Adhyatmika is Prajna. Atma. Prajnanam Brahma. Adi Daivika is Taijasa. Effulgence. Tejas. Tesane, Tena, Ramude. That's what Brother Kumar will understand, I think. And Adi Bhautika is Bhuta. Bhuta means what this world. Yes, Brother Dasa.
So Sairam, I don't want to take your time. I know you have to go. Santokya Upanishad, you mentioned as a kernel. So that is the one, the operating system that is based on that one. All the other applications develop, other Vedas and everything. That when you talk about the Santokya Upanishad, the power, and they use the word kernel. That is the best one. On the top that they develop everything. Now I can understand why they use the word. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam. We'll close with prayers, okay?
Yes.
Om Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam, everyone.